Before we get to the video, please like, comment, subscribe, share it to that uncle who's a communist. And if he isn't, he will be.
Don't forget to follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/revolutionaryrhetoric. And Revolutionary Rhetoric is an affiliate of the Anti-Capitalist Podcast Network.
All right, let's get to the video.
Well, I guess we're not done talking about Trump and Biden because the next story is basically related to that.
Kind of. Yeah, the Supreme Court has basically said that anybody that is a president can basically commit what's called a presidential order, or what's the proper term for
the executive order?
Well, yeah, a presidential or an executive order.
Oh, just an official act, yeah.
Thank you. An official act, and basically any official act cannot be that act could not cause that president to be convicted of a crime.
Yeah, basically, it just gives presidents immunity to crimes. They now can commit crimes with impunity. So, and the only caveat to that is so long as they're official acts. But people have kind of said that there's no real definition. The line for what is and isn't an official act is incredibly blurry.
Oh my god.
So you can basically just if it's done within the White House, then you know what I mean? If you want to do a bunch of cocaine and bang hookers in the White House, you can make a legal argument that that's an official act. That's obviously an extreme example, but my point is that this
assassination, dude.
Yeah, this gives presidents complete and what a lot of people I'm seeing on the internet are they've always had this Obama just murdered weddings left and right. Trump has done the same thing. Biden has done the same thing. They're all just absolute murderers.
If you use the military, it is considered an executive act. It's considered an official act, right?
So this doesn't really change much. The only thing it kind of changes is
the optics of
because that's all Democrats or all liberals have been talking about is once we get him convicted, we won't have to deal with him anymore. And it's great, he's convicted of 34 counts, 34 felonies, and then it's so what? He can just pardon himself.
Yeah,
it means nothing, guys.
But it's what's crazy to me now is now they can commit war crimes, right?
Yeah, that's what
they could be all right, SEAL Team 6, please assassinate the Prime Minister of fucking Iran.
Yeah,
boom. Go bomb this building that has one ISIS official, and they end up killing 150 people. But it can't be constituted as a war crime under U.S. law because it was an official act from the president.
The worst case scenario here is Trump takes this to heart. Trump gets reelected, and then just carpet bombs Gaza, carpet bombs Iran, carpet bombs Yemen. Anything he considers a Houthi, Iranian, Hezbollah, Palestinian, Gazan, Hamas, it doesn't matter because he can just be I can't be charged with the crime. So let's just, if there's a handful of women or children
Hezbollah is on the terrorist on the list of terrorists by the United States. So they're just they're doing strategic strikes on terrorists.
Impunity with the entire cities that they may be housed in. Basically do what Israel is doing to Gaza, Trump could do to Iran. Not that they haven't already done this to Baghdad and Fallujah, and we just fucking destroyed Afghanistan and Iraq with impunity. Not they were ever going to get convicted of crimes there. So again, it kind of really doesn't change much. Presidents have always had immunity from crimes.
I mean, look at fucking Bush literally invading Iraq, and it wasn't a war. It was just
hundreds of thousands of innocents dead.
And because Hezbollah and Hamas are not a country, they're considered a group, and they're considered a terrorist group. They could literally, the U.S. can go and now attack those countries. And just do that, and then claim, and then nobody can do anything about it. Not that they had the option of doing anything about it before. But now it's now legally under our own law, then nobody can bat an eye. Period. It was legal.
And get out of here with that. But the UN would stop them. The UN isn't going to do shit.
What has the UN done?
UN's dickless, and they wouldn't do anything. So I think that's the worst case scenario. That's the real scary scenario is Trump being elected and not domestic problems, which would be bad, but I think international assassinations, bombings, just absolutely fucking kicking off World War III the second he's in office. Yeah, that's the worst case scenario, I think.
Yeah. And so Jesus Christ, man. It's just kind of scary because the Supreme Court is honestly running off willy-nilly, doing whatever the fuck they want. A lot of the major downfalls of laws have been placed recently have been from the Supreme Court.
Yeah, they're completely going just running wild, just overturning shit or just making up stuff like this, not making up, but making these rulings.
Yeah, and so I've seen a couple of people say that we could counter these things by one either packing the court, which is legal. You can pack.
Yeah,
the
but
court.
Biden said he won't do that.
Well, because he's a fucking pussy. But
Yeah.
he should do that.
Well, that's the thing too. Even regarding this law, he said he's going to act within like he's like this doesn't change how he's going to act because he's just going to act within like the scope of what's reasonable to begin with.
Well, I thought we're fighting fascism.
Yeah.
What happened to fighting fascism?
But yeah, but it's more about just keeping status quo. That's what we were joking about earlier. Is like this now makes it totally legal for Biden to just go unalive the Supreme Court. Just fucking take him out.
Yeah.
Like that's fine. You can do that now. You could have always done that. Just do
he doesn't
it.
even have to do that. Yeah. Legally, you can add term limits to the judges. Legally, it's not in the Constitution that they can't. They're there forever. You know, these are just like certain presets that have been established. 100 years or 150 years ago.
I'm pretty sure it is in the Constitution that the Supreme Court serves forever.
I don't think so. I think there's a loophole.
Yeah.
In the
Keep
Constitution.
talking. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I don't think so. I just recently watched a video about this, that you can do some sort of create some sort of regulation, because I think in the Constitution it says you can regulate the Supreme Court, which means you can change things like term limits. But also there has been things like what was his name? John Roberts. Is that one of the Supreme Court justices?
Yeah, that's the Chief Justice.
What the Chief Justice is actually big proponent. He is fan. Jesus Christ, my English is
proponent.
not
You had it right. Proponent.
Yeah, big proponent of doing things like jurisdiction.
You got it, man. Work through it. Sound it out. That should make fun. English is your second language.
No, it's pretty much my first. No, jurisdiction. Oh my God.
What word are you trying to say?
The sphere of activity which the legal authority of a court or other institute extends. Yes. So the jurisdictional. I don't know why I can't say that word. Jurisdictional limits. So they can actually create laws. When creating new laws, they can actually apply a limit to their power, saying pretty much you can create this law, and at the bottom it says the Supreme Court can't change this law.
Okay.
And I forgot what that was called. Basically, in Section 2, it basically states that Congress can make regulations, and it's very broad. Yeah. And so with making regulations, you can make term limits.
Yeah, because what the Constitution says is that they just hold their office so long as they have "quote unquote" good behavior. That's
and then you make regulations based upon that behavior.
So the Constitution doesn't say they can't have term limits; it just says that they can.
Basically they can say they're as long as they have whatever good behavior it is. But if you can have Congress make some sort of law creating regulation,
which is what they've done. That's just they interpret the Constitution, and then it's up to the Supreme Court to. But the problem is that if anybody were to sue over that law that Congress makes, and it made its way to the Supreme Court would be then reviewing a case about the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And like, how would you then claim that you don't have a conflict of interest? Like, would you recuse yourself as a 9-person behind? Like, I don't know how that would work. That'd be a very interesting legal question. But yeah, so we took a little break and then found out that the question about term limits to the Supreme Court. So yeah, you're right. Like, apart from this crime immunity thing, like, far from joking that they should just be put down, like, Congress at any moment could just like limit their term
if they wanted to. So to counteract this, basically, Congress could push whatever they want to make sure they regulate. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, if it hasn't happened by now, it won't. And like,
I'm just saying there is a solution to this.
And then regarding packing the court, Biden has also said that like, no, we don't do that. But everyone's like, no, you should do that.
Pack the court. Make regulations to, like term limits and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then when creating new laws that you do not want to be overturned, basically have a clause in the law that says that Supreme Court cannot pretty much shut this law down.
Yeah. What Biden should do, what a really base thing to do would be to like add like 9 seats to the Supreme Court, make it 18, add 10, make it 19, so it's an uneven. And then just add a bunch of 30-year-old judges in there. And the Democrats control the Senate. They just, although I think you need.
Well, right now we have 9, and I think they were saying to push it to 13.
Yeah, you just need a simple majority to confirm a judge, though, right?
Correct.
It's just a simple majority?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
So I would look that up.
Yeah.
I would look that up.
Simple majority, so just 51.
Yeah.
That's 50 plus Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Because there's 50 Democrats in the Senate, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the VP after that.
Yeah, so it's 51 to 50 would be every vote.
So yeah, you could just Expand it to 30. You don't have to do it 19 or whatever. But
do it 50, 51. Make it 101. Fuck it. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter. The point is that, like, you could just, yes, you can make it so that
101 just makes it seem like you're doing this, like, maliciously.
Yeah, sure.
And then the Republican one will make it 300. I'm just saying, like,
but like, just do it so that you'll never lose a decision again. Like, they could just, like, that's something that the Republicans would do. Like, you think Trump? If Trump
100%,
Trump will do that if he gets in office again. And like, the thing is, the most frustrating thing of all this is, like, all the shit that, like, Biden says, oh, we won't do that. You know, we're honorable. Like, once I'm in office, the country will be honorable again or whatever. And it's like, dude, no, they won't.
This is war.
And like, Trump will do all of these things. Republicans do all of this shit, and Democrats are always just so scared to do it. It's very frustrating because Democrats are always scared to do what Republicans already do, like, well. Republicans just play this game of politics
honor
better.
and decorum. I'm like, these people would hang you by a fucking rope.
Are going to hang you. Like,
like, dude, Jesus Christ. They were just they were ranting about hanging Mike Pence, their own fucking Republican, you know, because he, like, did one sidestep of Trump after being loyal for 4 fucking years and swallowing his fucking cock. And
they wouldn't hang, like, AOC or, like, Raskin or any of these people. Like, no, they're going to go, like, they're going to kill you all, and you need to take this seriously.
Yeah, so pack the courts. Pack the courts for the sake of our fucking country. And our country, but the people that are living
there. Yeah, not the country, not the institution of America and democracy.
I'm talking about the people that live in this country.
Yeah, 100%.
Because, like, as much as I hate the fucking Democrats, the Republicans are cooking up something this term. I think there's going to be some, if the Republicans do win, I think this is going to be, like, a major thing. I think so too. I think there's going to be some big changes.
I think that would be like the Handmaid's Tale takeover of, like, when they just kind of, like, they pack the court, they outlaw the Democratic Party.
Trump's going to come in and he's going to pack the court for you.
Yeah, they're going to come in because of the poor debate, because of just America's complete, like, hatred of Democrats and just lack of enthusiasm behind any Democrat. Like, that hatred of Biden is rippling down, and, like, once comfortable Democratic seats in the House and the Senate are now a little shaky from right-wing attacks, like from Republican attacks, because of how much people just, like, don't like Democrats right now. And that is, like, that red wave that everybody feared for 2020 and 2022, that I think that's actually going to happen now in 2024.
Yes,
I think
I believe so as well.
The Democrats are not going to win the House back, and I think they're going to lose the Senate, and they're going to lose the White House. So they will have a Republican-held majority in Congress, in the White House, and the Supreme Court. All 3 branches of the government will be held by the farthest right, populist, like, pseudo-fascist America has ever seen. All at one time. They will have every branch of the government. They will have most state houses in the country. They'll have most judges in the country are appointed by Trump. Like, the Republicans will own the country, both on the city, state, and federal level. It will be just like MAGA Republicans through and through. And once 2025 ticks over and Trump is sworn in, and all those Republicans are sworn in all across the country, then they're just going to start ramping up anti-LGBTQ, anti-gay, anti-black, anti-woke,
anti-us,
anti-communist for sure,
bro.
Yeah, you're a foreigner and you're a communist. You're cooked, bro. So
they ain't ready for me yet.
You can hang out in my bunker down here with all the guns.
Yeah.
Bring over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's, and again, I'm not saying, like, to go out and, like, vote for Biden. I'm just saying to prepare for that, like, inevitability that, like, Biden will lose whether you vote for him or not. And you just got to prepare for that.
Listen, we're not saying there's going to be some fucking civil war, for fuck's sake.
I am.
But I don't think
I'm not saying there's going to be civil war, but I'm saying there's just going to be shit like that. There's just going to be, like, all of these random bills that we've mentioned over the past few months of, like, what Missouri's doing, what Louisiana's doing. You're going to see those just ramp up.
Exactly.
These marginalized groups that are already being, like, pretty punished and pretty oppressed, that's just going to crank to 11.
Yeah. No, I believe that. I don't think there's going to be a physical war. No, I think basically they're just going to be they're going to take over and they're going to fucking institute all these laws. And they've set this out when they fucking open. Like, they have, like, a whole project 2025 or whatever, you know? They set this out in the open. We know what they're going to do, right? But the problem is, like, even if you put the fucking Democrats in, that's not going to do it. That's not going to fix much or change much, because they literally overturned Roe versus Wade with Biden in fucking as a president. Yeah. They're instituting laws in Louisiana and Missouri and Oklahoma, all these fucking conservative ass laws while he's president. So what's the fucking difference? We're slowly getting to 2025, or we're going to just go straight into it. right? Fuck, man, I'm not an accelerationist, but like, if this is what it has to come to at the end of the day, for people's fucking eyes to open.
Yeah, this isn't accelerationism. I think that's like a different thing. This is just like preparing for like what is, I would argue, like inevitable.
I wouldn't say this is like purposeful acceleration where I'm purposely voting for the
I don't
opposite.
hope for this. I'm not like
I don't want
this, but
I'm explaining what is going to happen.
But recognizing it for what it is not accelerationist. Like, this is what is going to happen in like 90% probability, and like kind of preparing for that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's not accelerationism.
Bro, I think I just put two and two together. MAGA communists are just accelerationists. And this is their way of like accelerating.
Oh, they've been 200 IQ play?
Yeah, bro. They're playing 6D chess right now.
Playing 6D chess, dude. The MAGA communists, dude, they won.
Oh my God. They're just major accelerationists. Midwestern Marx is over here like, you know what? We're going to fucking, yeah. We're going to boost this shit up. I want the revolution in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then that is what I've said about like, not accelerationism, but like that is the positive side of these things happening, is that you see a huge influx of memberships rise in communist parties and donations to communist parties, like Black Lives Matter movement. That all happened under Trump. So like the George Floyd protest, these massive inflation of members to communist parties and stuff, all that happens under Trump. And then Biden gets in office and you see those numbers dip. People leave Communist Party, people leave Black Lives Matter movements and stuff, because it's like all the people that were kind of fair weather friends went out to brunch. The good thing about being in Trump, if there is such a thing, is that everyone gets really angry about the kids in cages all of a sudden, so that you can help the kids in cages. The kids are still in cages under Biden, but the liberals don't care anymore.
Yeah,
but when Trump is in office, the liberals care about the kids in cages. And like, for me, as like the person wanting to help the kids in cages, I don't care why they want to help, so long as they're giving money and like supplies to the cause to help. Exactly. I care why they care. I think it's I think it's hypocritical and cynical of them. But at the end of the day, if they're helping their community, if they're helping these kids in cages, then I don't give a shit if it's Trump or Biden, so long as the kids are being helped.
In my head, the only way to like process some sort of revolution in this country is to have people really understand what the third world is like, in a sense. And to process that, we need to put people under certain amounts of strain. And I think this is going to do it for them.
Accelerationist.
I'm not an accelerationist.
No, I know, but you're going to get called that for that statement, though.
I do not want this to happen, but I believe that the outcome of this happening will cause people to become a lot more aware, and which will help our movement, in a sense. It will also be bad for the movement, because we'll also have a lot of opposing authority looking over our every single move, if not cracking down on us, which is quite fucking scary. Like, I don't want to. I do believe in free speech, in a sense, where like I can believe what I did. That you can have a country where a communist can be there and believe that without getting jailed.